This is the XRP 1 month overview reading for the month of June 2025. It's currently May 31st, 2025, 7:17 p.m. Eastern Time. XRP at the time of this reading is $2.18 USD. The shuffle video for the June XRP reading was created on May 25th, 2025 at 9:43 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this video right here. So what we're going to cover in this video, the overall trend direction and chart behavior for the month of June. We're going to give you information about the chart behavior on the month's highest high and the chart behavior on the month's lowest low. We're going to give you the day-by-day sequence of chart events. And now it's important to understand the timing is usually on point to the day, but what we're predicting, SO Meta is focused on the sequence of chart events. So in some cases, you might need to give the timing plus or minus a day here or there of wiggle room. And that's because not each card's energy will line up perfectly with 1 day of time. So you have to allow for that. And that's the main reason why I do not recommend trading this information alone. You should only trade this information if you have access to our live Discord trade alerts and live trading view chart links, where we draw entries and exits. Because I've been doing this for 27 years, my friends. It took me a while to figure out how to trade this information successfully because it's such a different way of trading from that of technical analysis. So think of this as entertainment. If you want to really investigate, paper trade the trade. I'm going to give you a trade, one of the best trades that I see for the month at the end of the video. Paper trade that trade, see how it goes. If you're serious about trading this info, then you've got to have those game-changing services. And I'll show you after we give you the best trade at the end of the video. I'll show you how to get the subscription with the Discord and the live trading view chart links. So stay tuned for that. So the overall trend and theme for the month of June for XRP is erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level. Come here, buddy. In the midst of that erratic behavior, we usually revisit a crest. You want to go up on the table? We usually revisit a crest that was recently a past opportunity. Sometimes it's a trough. Usually it's a crest, but we're revisiting an opportunity within that erratic behavior. Sometimes it's that we're revisiting the same opportunity multiple times in the month of June. Sometimes it's an opportunity from a previous reading, but we'll look at that in more detail as we progress. And it's crossed with a significant trough or low on a scale of like a 1 year chart, probably minimum. And again, guys, if you're new to the channel, everything in this reading is going to be on the scale of a 1 month chart, unless otherwise specified. So there's an important trough on a 1 year chart scale, probably, that's highlighted within this. So it could be that we're actually revisiting a trough at a low, or revisiting opportunity at a low within the midst of this erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level. The price level is something that I should be able to identify after a little bit of time going through June. I should be able to identify what that price level is. Behavior around the highest high for the month. We have a fast sudden move higher taking us into the high, most likely like a breakout into the high. Behavior around the lowest low. There's an important resistance level highlighted, important on like at least a 1 month scale, probably a 1 year chart scale, that we failed to break through many times before and or will fail to break through many times in the future. That's highlighted near the low. Usually there's a resistance and we decline into the low. And because it's erratic behavior, it might be that we're seeing that resistance multiple times and declining from it into the low multiple times. We'll look at that. We'll specify that in the monthly access version, where we actually time the highs and lows for you, as well as give you all the other trades. All right, now I'm going to get into that day-by-day sequence of chart events, but before I do that, I want to make sure that you guys are aware the whole purpose of the channel is to transmute some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. We do that by following through on the rule of karma. It's a threefold rule. You go to the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders. 5% of all profits should be donated forward to one of these charities or a charity of your choosing. Just make sure you're paying it forward. That's the whole point, is to keep the flow of abundance flowing through the universe. Pay it forward, my friends. And then 5% of the profit should be donated back to the channel through one of these links. Much appreciation. It's the right thing to do. It's a good way to express gratitude. And gratitude begets gratitude. You get what you are, my friends. So make sure to follow through. It leaves you at 90%, way more than a stockbroker would leave you with. And if you don't know, I was a Wall Street broker a long, long time ago before I started this. And they would not have left you with 90% of your profits, that's for sure. Make sure to spend that out of love. As long as you follow those 3 rules, you followed the rule of karma for the channel. Universe considers you an angel investor. We're going to send you a link to get access to some of the angel investor perks, like the angel investor Discord channel, which is a chat channel, and some other cool things. Much love and appreciation to everybody that does that. We're counting on you to do that here at Tarot for Traders. Now let's get into that day-by-day sequence of chart events. All right, so on the 1st of June, we have, out of a decline, a big move from the bottom of the range all the way to the top of a range, creating a peak, important on a 1-month scale, towards the end of the day, likely where we break through key technical price level just momentarily, and then we're back below it. On the 2nd, we've got a rally through key resistance. We stay above it briefly, break back down through it shortly thereafter with a full retracement, and some taking us into a trough on the 3rd, where we successfully find support. Out of that trough, big move to the upside, like maybe out of oversold territory or some sort of jump to the upside, taking us back to a peak on the 4th. On the 5th, we've got the Magus card indicating probably a good exit of some kind. I'll talk about that in more detail in the monthly access version of this. But we've got a trough towards the end of the day, and then likely we're lower on the 6th. There's a resistance level on the 6th that's highlighted that we should decline from and then return to probably on the same day, but if not, then very, very likely on the 7th. Most likely we'll return to it more than once, both on the 6th and the 7th, because there's a trough around the cusp of the 6th and the 7th before a big move back to the upside to revisit that resistance, possibly break out into a prominent peak. On the 8th, we have a prominent move higher, full retracement, taking us into a significant trough towards the cusp of the 8th, 9th. The 8th, 9th looks, or the 9th looks crazy. We've got a prominent peak, a prominent trough, and then another. We've got a prominent trough, a prominent peak, and then another prominent trough, all on the 9th. That devil card is something to be very, very careful, something tricky, some sort of tricky chart behavior intended to make you do the wrong thing. So don't fall for it, my friends. Another prominent peak towards the beginning of the day on the 10th, and a sharp drop through multiple support levels off of that peak on the 10th. On the 11th, we get some mixed behavior, like a sideways S formation within a channel. First to the downside, then the upside, then back to the downside. However, there's another peak around the cusp of the 11th, 12th. A lot of price change. Looks like I missed that little Herkimer diamond there, but a lot of price change into a peak around the cusp of the 11th, 12th. Be very cautious on the 12th, some sort of tricky chart behavior, multiple false tops or bottoms, or just back and forth behavior that can make you do the wrong thing impulsively. There's an important support level, important on a 1-year chart scale minimum, highlighted on the 13th, and a big move out of that to the upside towards the end of the day of the 13th, or on the cusp of the 13th, 14th. The 14th, that big move higher on the cusp is followed by a big move to the downside on the 14th, one of the biggest moves to the downside of the month. And then we have at least one major reversal on the 15th. Let's see if I can pinpoint how many, if it's just one reversal, or if it's multiple reversals. Yeah, it looks like there's probably 3 reversals there on the 15th, and we should see a prominent peak in the midst of that and revisit a support level probably twice that was recently an opportunity in the not too distant past. On the 16th, a rally that turns over. On the 17th, we have both the unicursal hexagram and a huge move to the upside. So hard to read that right off the bat. Likely what we do is we have this on the 16th, this big move that turns over into a sharp drop out of the 16th into the 17th, where we then have a huge move pushing the upper end of range higher on the 17th. We do some sideways rotation on the 18th along a key support. There's a failed attempt to break through key resistance on the 19th, followed by a decline through key support. And then some erratic behavior taking us into a prominent peak on the 20th, creating a prominent peak and a sharp unicursal hexagram decline out of that peak into the 21st, where we again have another move to the upside. The 22nd full card, usually those mark off really notable trade opportunities, improbable moves, gaps of some kind. Often there's a gap there. And it looks like it's probably to the downside I'll look at that in more detail in the monthly access version. But we have a peak early in the day on the 23rd that we sell off from down to and through support. We do a U-shaped reversal below that price level, break it out through it to the upside, and then reuse it as support. Rally on the 24th along a diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance and meet another resistance before pulling back to somewhere between those two price levels. The rally along a diagonal trend line continues probably into the early part of the 25th, but ends with a fast sudden move higher and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line, sharp unicursal hexagram decline into most likely a prominent trough on a 1 month scale minimum. We have another decline on the 26th to revisit a support level that was recently a past opportunity, and then an unexpected move to the upside. Pretty notable unexpected move to the upside on the 27th, creating a peak probably early afternoon. On the 28th, another peak that forms when we break through resistance. We stay above it briefly, and then we break back down through it shortly thereafter with the full retracement. Another big move to the upside on the 29th, that's with a full retracement and possibly more. Back down after creating a prominent peak there on the 29th, full retracement back down. And then on the 30th, big move to the upside with a breakout on a multi-day scale, taking us back to a prominent peak. The sneak preview for July, just looking at the sneak preview card, we've got an overbought crest that we sell off from through multiple support levels. But I'll look at that in more detail in the July reading. As far as the best trade, one of the best trades that I see for the month, let's see if I can get a good one here. Okay, so on the 6th, we likely see lower price levels on the 6th than we saw on the 5th. But what I'd be looking for is a resistance level that's highlighted on a multi-day scale, that's highlighted there on the 6th, that will decline from. And once we're below it, you should be able to open up a long position with the expectation to close that long position when we revisit that resistance level. We'll either revisit it on the 6th and or on the 7th. Probably the 7th will break out through it momentarily, so that could be a good backup exit. And if those exits don't work, there's another backup exit on the 9th early in the day, possibly on the 10th. But rule of thumb, guys, if you're new with SO meta-analysis, never wait for a backup exit. Take your profit as soon as you have it. The first profitable exit, take it, and then take that money and reposition it into another profitable trade. Don't concern yourself with max gain. It's a trap. It's a rookie move. Don't do it. All right, and that's one of the best trades that I see for XRP, guys. If you want to trade this information for real rather than just paper trade and follow along, you must have access to our Discord trade alerts and live trading view chart links. We actually draw entries and exits. We're not always right. It looks like we were off on a couple of these lows here, just by a little bit, but price levels were still accurate. And for the most part, we're drawing entries and exits and giving you real-time Discord trade alerts. It's important to have if you want to trade this and you want to get serious about making money consistently. So the way that you get that, guys, you go to our website, Tarot for Traders, hover over Order Now, click on Subscription. And it's monthly access. Click here to subscribe. We cover SPY, BTC, XRP, Tesla, and NVIDIA, QUBT, and Solana, all as part of the monthly access subscription. That's day-by-day sequence of chart events, and we predict the timing of the highest highs and the lowest lows in the monthly access version, as well as give you all of the other remaining good trades that we see. Much love and appreciation, everybody that goes ahead and does that. Blessings to all my angel investors. Don't forget about that. We're counting on you guys. And I'll see you guys on the next one.